So my sister calls me one day and says, "We just come back from this trip. You've got to see my photographs of Benjamin. I'm seeing this strange glow in his eye." I'm on the phone with her and I said, "I've seen this glow too. Benjamin has a freckle in his eye. I don't think it's much of anything." But I hang up the phone with her. I get a little alarmed. I start poking around on the computer. Look up cat's eye reflection, which is what it looks like in the photos. Sure enough, retinoblastoma, retinoblastoma, retinoblastoma. Everywhere I looked, retinoblastoma. Now I also know a little information is a dangerous thing, especially on the internet. So I tried not to freak out. I called my husband. He said, it's probably nothing, but let's get him in front of the pediatrician. The next day, we're in front of the pediatrician. The next morning, I take Benjamin to school. Not 5-10 minutes later, I'm driving home. I get the call. It's the pediatric ophthalmologist. Based on what I'm telling them, they want to see Benjamin now. I start shaking. I'm so nervous I can barely even pull the car over. I try to find a pen. I'm fumbling for a pen, paper. I can't barely even write the address down. I call my husband. I tell him I can't go back to the school. I can't compose myself, but we need to be in this doctor's office immediately. Brian picks up Benjamin. We get to the doctor's office within the hour. There, they see what they believe to be retinoblastoma in Benjamin's eye. They refer us immediately to the specialist at the Vision Center at Children's Hospital, Los Angeles. We drive frantically there with Benjamin, not knowing what we're facing. When we get there, we wait not more than 5 minutes between walking through the front door and into the Vision Center before Doctors Lee and Murphy are there ready to examine Benjamin. Once they examined him, they realized they needed to look at him in the OR. They told us the 3 possible outcomes for him, and upon viewing him under anesthesia in the OR, they were able to definitively come out and tell us that in fact it was Coates' disease and not retinoblastoma that he's facing, but that this is a lifelong disease and we will be watching it until he grows to be, I hope, a very old man.
In Benjamin's particular case, his mother first noticed something was wrong after she had gotten a photograph taken of Benjamin where the flash from the camera revealed that the left eye had an abnormal glow. It was a white glow. After looking at the photograph, she brought Benjamin to the eye doctor, and the doctor noticed that not only was there an abnormal glow, but that glow was coming from a detachment in his retina in the left eye. That detachment turned out to be a result of a condition called Coates' disease, which is due to abnormal blood vessels. When Benjamin first came in with his parents, there obviously was a lot of concern and a lot of stress over how we would be able to take care of this. Fortunately, at Children's Hospital Los Angeles in the Vision Center, we have a team of experts all devoted to taking care of children, and not just their medical needs, but also the family's emotional and psychological needs. This can be a devastating diagnosis, and in those cases, treating just the patient may not be sufficient. It's our goal to make sure that the entire family is treated as we walk them through what can sometimes be a very long journey on the road to visual recovery.
One thing that I want to make sure all parents know: this disease is not hereditary. It's not genetic. They have no idea where this comes from. It does usually show up when a child is young, somewhere between the ages of 0 and 10. It is more often than not with boys than girls. Not always, but more often than not. And it doesn't show up in every photograph. So it was only 1 out of every 70 or 80 photographs. Once we were diagnosed, I had a hard time going back and finding more than a dozen or 15 photographs that show this glow. It's really only with the photographs that have the red eye reflection initially. But it is so important, if you see this glow and you see it more than once, do not wait. Get your child in to be seen by a specialist. Get them at least in front of your pediatrician. Be sure that you are checking it out, because it is the best thing you can do for your child. The earlier this is detected, the better our chances are of saving their eyes, of saving their vision, and potentially with retinoblastoma, of saving their life.